Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. Today we are going to fry up our very own backyard po' boy sliders with our own homemade remoulade. Let's get started. It's summer, guys, and that being said, I always have seafood on the brain. To be honest, I have seafood on the brain pretty much all year, but in the summer it's definitely very true. What we're going to do is fry our shrimp up on a propane burner that I have out in the backyard. Obviously you can do these on your stovetop if you want. If you have a deep fryer, you can do it there. Or if your propane grill has a burner attachment, you could do it there as well. Now the first thing that we want to do is defrost our shrimp. If you're getting them from the grocery store, they're probably in a frozen bag. You can get them unfrozen. And you want to make sure that you peel off the scales and get them devined. Sometimes you can buy them pre-done, or you can do it yourself. It's not too difficult. Just go slow and you'll get it done. Now we have all of our spices mixed together, and then I have our cornmeal and our flour. What I want to do is take about half of our spice mixture here, and I'm going to pour about half of it in with our cornmeal and our flour. Now with the remaining half, I'm going to coat all of our shrimp just to give them a nice even coating of our rub. Now we just want to give our flour mixture a nice little mix together, get everything distributed nice and evenly. Then we want to get our buttermilk and our hot sauce together. This is a point where you can add or subtract the amount of hot sauce that you want. I'm going to also add hot sauce into my remoulade mix, so I'm not going to go too crazy on the buttermilk here. Now the process to get our shrimp done is pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of our shrimp, we're going to completely drench it into our buttermilk, and then we're just going to coat it in our flour seasoning. Get any extra off, and then it's going to go under a wire rack. I'm putting them onto a wire rack because once I've done all the shrimp, this is going to go into my fridge and get it nice and cold before we go ahead with frying it. So slowly just work through it. If you need to make more buttermilk mixture or if you need to make more flour, that's fine. This isn't really a precise science. We just want to make sure that everything is nice and seasoned up and nice and floured up before we get it onto the fryer. It's worth noting that if you really want to get these nice and fluffy, you could actually dredge them twice. You could go through this whole process, get them all buttermilked up, then you could go back into the buttermilk again and then go into the flour again. While we wait for our shrimp to cool off and start frying them, we may as well put together our remoulade. To do so, I'm going to take our mayonnaise, our relish, and some paprika, lime juice, Dijon mustard, hot sauce. And this morning, I smoked up an entire garlic cluster, so I have 2 cloves in here, which is going to add a nice smoky flavor, and then just really get it nice and mixed up. This is a nice base for remoulade. You can make whatever you want to do from this point. You can add in more hot sauce, you can add in more salt, pepper, sugar, whatever you want to make your flavor a little bit your own. I like this spot. I'm going to add a little bit of salt into it, but nothing crazy. And then I'm going to put this in the fridge because I want it to congeal a little bit more and get nice and cold before it goes on to our po' boys. Okay, to fry up our shrimp, I'm just going to use my outdoor burner and a enamel-coated cast iron pan. And I'm just going to put enough oil in here, as you can see, for about 1 inch, enough to cover the shrimp. And then working in batches, I'm going to try and do them about 3 to 4 minutes each. I'm looking for a temperature of maybe around 350 degrees. Doesn't have to be too crazy. I just want them to nice crisp up a little bit and obviously cook the shrimp through. So we're just going to let this do its thing. This should be a pretty quick process. Frying shrimp is pretty quick. And then I'm going to pull them off and then we'll be ready to eat these suckers. Those look pretty good. Time to pull this batch. It's actually not dinner time for once when I'm doing these videos. It's actually lunchtime, and of course I am starving. And the longer I cook, the more hungry I get. So I'm really excited to chomp into these guys. I've been making this specific recipe for quite a while, and making them in sliders versus a long hoagie, I've determined that using the King's Hawaiian buns is the perfect way to make these. It adds a little bit more sweetness to it. If you want to just go with the traditional French bread, obviously that's completely acceptable. But these are great. You can have them as a kind of a backyard snack. You can have them at your cookout as an appetizer or even as the main event. And the remoulade is going to be fantastic. If you want to adjust the amount of heat in this, you can add more hot sauce, you can add more cayenne pepper. It's really a blank canvas to make what you want. All that being said, it's time to take a chomp, guys. I love these sliders so much. I've made them so many times, guys. I can't lie, this is one of my favorite meals. And when you're putting them together, like I said, King's Hawaiian is the roll choice that I use for these sliders. I always add in some dill pickles, our remoulade sauce, obviously, tomato, lettuce, and then just kind of add it all together. For these size sliders, I put about 2 shrimps on here. These are large shrimps. You can probably get away with 3 if you're doing medium size, or even more if you're doing smaller. But guys, it's a great cook. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want me to see me do more seafood, let me know down below. If you want to see me cook something specifically, let me know down below. Obviously, like, subscription, all that YouTube jazz. And as always, guys, have a great summer and cook something fantastic.